unboxing some new stuff for the Toyota Tacoma. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. That's right, I've got some new stuff for the Toyota Tacoma. I thought I'd get on here and unbox with you guys. Now, obviously, I've taken it out of the package, but we're gonna pull it out of the boxes it's in and take a look at it. Now, both of these are for an upcoming mod that I have, the new bumper on the front of the Tacoma. There's a couple of things that I just had to have. You know, you gotta do that when you get a new mod. One is actually going to be to install the mod, and the bumper that is, and the other is going to be part of the bumper or the mod. So let's start with the least exciting one, but maybe the most fun one to use, and that is in this green little case. It's called KIMO, I don't know. The reason I went with this one is because it was highly rated on Amazon. Never had one of these before. Saw an install for the bumper for some bolts that are in some pretty hard to get to spots. And I thought, you know, instead of cranking 1/8 of an inch on a bolt, trying to get it tight and get it off, I'd get one of these. So let's go ahead, pop it open. We'll take a look, see what this is. It is, let's see, technically, it is a 12-volt power ratchet wrench. Basically, it's an electric wrench. One of these angular kind of things. This is what it looks like. And the reason I wanted this, again, is because it's at an angle. It's small, and you can kind of stick it in a small area at an angle, whereas you can't do that with a wrench if you don't have enough room to swing the ratchet, right? This is electric. I have charged the battery, so yeah, I did pop it open, but I haven't messed with it. Interestingly, it has this little grip thing on it. That kind of reminds me of like an air tool. I don't know, maybe that's what they're trying to get at. Let's go ahead and hit it, see what it sounds like. I like that. And oh, cool, it has a light, so I'll be able to see in a tight area. I got the 3/8. It does match all of the sockets that I have. It came with a battery charger and 2 batteries. So one that's in it, obviously, and a spare. Always like to have the spare. Matter of fact, I would not get anything like this if it didn't have a spare, because nothing's worse than being in the middle of a project and running out of juice. You know, then you got to go back to the old-fashioned style where you're going to go 1/8 of an inch at a time to tighten something up. So hopefully it works out well. It did have a good torque spec. I don't know if it says right off in here. I think it was like 40 foot-pounds or something like that. It is 40 foot-pounds of maximum torque. It's 400 revolutions per minute. Again, it's a 3/8 inch drive socket. Weighs about 1.72 pounds without the battery and 2.12 pounds with the battery. I will say it is a little heavy. It's not a bad thing. I mean, it's a tool, right? Most tools are relatively heavy. But if you had to wheel this thing around too much, you'd probably get a pretty strong wrist. I don't know. Another thing I want to mention that it came with, it does come with some sockets. I'm curious to see, did it come with the Holy Grail? It did. A 10mm socket, so now I have yet another spare that hopefully I won't lose or drop behind somewhere, as well as a few others. So they do give you some of those. That's pretty cool. Anyway, that's for the install. We'll be using this, obviously, once the bumper gets here and I need to get some of those hard to get or hard to reach bolts out. Can't wait to try it out. It's the first one I've ever had. Should be pretty cool. Hopefully this is a good brand. Again, I got it because it's the highest rated one, or at the time, it was the highest rated one on Amazon, I believe. Nice sturdy little case too. I like that. None of those cloth or canvas cases. I hate those. Next up, this should be pretty neat. This is called a double row LED light bar. The packaging it comes in, the typical kind of thing. And you can see what it looks like right there. We're gonna pop it out of the box in just a second so you guys can actually see it. As far as the power of it, if it says on here, it should. It says say that it has 50,000 hours of average lifespan. So they do have an expiration date, if you will, it seems. But let's go ahead, we'll pop it out of here. cut one side. I think it was this side. Yeah. Okay, well, right off the bat, we have some mounting tools and a couple of, looks like mounting brackets in here. Not exactly sure how this thing is going to connect to the bumper, but they did suggest a double row 20-inch. This actually is 21.97 inches in total length, but it's called a 20-inch light bar. Let's see. Again, it is a double row. Let's go ahead and pull this thing out of here. There we go. All right. Lots of wiring. That's important. You have to have wires. It does come with a relay because it's switched. And then there should be somewhere in here, right here, it's fused as well. You know, after doing the lights, the ditch lights, if you will, or the backup lights, whatever you want to call them, on the bumper for the Jeep Gladiator, it's very important to have an inline fuse. Otherwise, you're going to blow fuses in your truck. I blew quite a few putting that little bumper thing on the Gladiator. So I'm glad that I had this as opposed to blowing fuses in my fuse panel. Let's take a look. Oh, and one other thing, there of course are the ends that connect to the battery, and then I mentioned there's a switch. I'm going to wire this directly to my remote switch, the wireless accessory controller that I have under the hood. I'll show you that when I go to do the install. So I'm not going to have any use for this switch. I'll just cut it out of the line. It does come with some sort of literature. I guess it's a little bit of an instruction manual. I've done enough of these. I shouldn't really need to do that. And then the light bar itself, it is white under here. It's protected by a blue film, just in case you're wondering, it's not blue. So you'll peel that off once you stick it in. Looks like it mounts from the sides. There's a threaded hole there and a threaded hole here. So shouldn't have any problems, I hope, mounting it behind or inside of that bumper that I'm going to put on. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here, kind of run through a couple of mods that I've got. Really one mod, the other's a tool, I suppose, but it's kind of a mod to my toolbox for the Toyota Tacoma. Should be a fun project. The bumper should be here any day now. I'm just waiting for it to be delivered, and then we're going to start cutting up the front of the Tacoma. Leave a comment. Let me know if you've had either one of these. This particular light bar, it's made by WD King. I don't know, four-wheel drive King. That's what it means right there. Four-wheel drive King. And then this KIMO, however you pronounce it, powered wrench. And how's it doing for you? I'd be curious. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. RobMotive Rides, all about my new, to me, Mercedes-Benz, and RobMotive JT, all about the Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. And while you're at it, hit the subscribe button here. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.